Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of From the Minds of Raging Brats. I'm Heather.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome to our podcast.
Things are a little different this week.
How's that?
You know, we have to figure out ways to overcome adversaries.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week for sure.
Yeah. Especially for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely facing adversity and we'll see how I overcome it.
With grace, as much as you can. And you're going to overcome this even better than you were before. Because you're going to get over these things that you've never faced before.
Yeah, it's still a struggle for me.
Oh, yeah. It's understandable. Now we have a 16-year-old.
I know. It's mind-numbing. Just the thought of having a 16-year-old as my youngest and 2 years away from him giving me the bird on pretty much everything is, I don't know, it's overwhelming. But everything else that's been going on is like crisis mode, not being able to work for a week because the car's been in the shop, and then finding out yesterday that I'm looking at an engine. I have like 3 days. Jesus Christ. No, today's the 2nd. So today was included in those 3 days to have $600. And I just don't even know where that's coming from, but the universe will figure it out for me. I surely hope, because I don't know what I'm going to do with one more thing.
I do definitely understand the feeling behind it. But for the past few years, as long as we've kept faith, somehow the universe pulls us through. Maybe by the very skin of our teeth, but she's been pulling us through.
And everybody seems to want to know what I want to do for my birthday next Saturday. And I'm just like, by next Saturday, I'm not even sure I'll have a roof over my head. So can I just focus on one thing at a time?
Yeah. And the hard part, I think, about real adulting is it's never just one thing that's happening. It's always so many. But I think in the next few months, we're going to both figure it out. And not just how we have been momentarily, week to week. We're going to get our stride. And we're going to be okay.
And I know the universe keeps sending me these messages that the hardest part is right before the breakthrough on the success and everything I've ever wanted. But in the meantime, the getting there, ooh.
Yeah.
It's been a real challenge to not break down and to not revert back to old habits of just
Yeah.
I want to end it all.
And I get it. It was really hard. I recently lost that potential rental, like I told you, but it was so hard for me. Even my mom was watching me pace back and forth, because it's I could get money. I could get money right now. But I would be right back in my old lifestyle, because I know, as much as I say I can just go back and hustle, I can't. If I go back in that life, I ain't coming back out. I like that life. So it's like, okay, just do things legally, just do things the right way. And they keep saying everything will get easier if you just keep doing it. And I'm like, okay, just keep swimming. Just fucking keep swimming.
I know. I tell people that all the time. Like, it's kind of weird that so many people are inspired by me. When like I feel so broken so often, I'm just like, what are they looking at me for? Like, why are they looking to me for inspiration? I am the biggest shit show on the planet. And like,
Yeah,
what?
I definitely feel it. Like people are like, you're so inspiring. Or they're like, I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, me either. Don't use me as your role model, man. You know, drunk in a forest with a fucking half gallon. Don't do that. It only heals a certain type of person. But like recently, one of our viewers had told me that we had inspired her to set boundaries. And that right there, like it really did make me teary-eyed because I was like, that was one of my biggest goals in this whole thing. Like I wanted somebody to look at me and be like, if she can set boundaries, if she can change her life, if she can do things, then I can too. So that's been helping keep me going because honestly, like I got a little wishy-washy about some of my boundaries recently. And then to hear that again, I was like, never mind. No, no, boundaries stay.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's really hard because especially the people that need the boundaries the most, the people that are least healed or not healing at all, they're the ones that make you wonder if your boundaries are valid or if you're just being mean because they act like it's not a boundary, like you're just devastating their whole world, and you're just like, but it's hard because you have to remember, like, those people, the reason they're getting away with that kind of shit is because they're so fucking good at manipulation. Like,
Yes,
oh,
exactly.
and it frustrates the hell out of me because the narcissist 9 times out of 10 will be the one standing there calling everybody in the room a fucking narcissist. And you're just like, okay, am I a
Mhm.
narcissist?
Yeah,
And then you look at the
yeah, I've
criteria
definitely
and you're
had
like,
some
wait,
moments.
no, 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 no. That's your motherfucking bad. Get out of my face.
Yeah. Mhm. It's like in the past 5 years, like one of the reasons I started seeing the Shrinky Lady again is because somebody really had me questioning whether I was a sociopath. Like, and I've done a lot of research, and I was like, am I? Like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, everything they were saying and pointing out made sense. And then I got away from the person and I did a bunch more research and I talked to the Shrinky Lady, and I'm like, wait a second, I feel empathy. I love animals. I don't like manipulating people. Like it's not fun for me. And she's like, can't be a sociopath. You literally can't. Mm-hmm. She's like, if you feel bad for manipulating people, like actually feel bad and you actually feel empathy, you can't be a sociopath. And I hugged her. I mean, I was like, thank you. Thank you. Because I
You're like,
didn't think
I've
I
been
was either,
concerned
but they
about
started
this.
making me think I was. Yeah. And
No, that's
it's
a lot of the
crazy.
hard part when healing. Didn't mean to
Yeah,
talk over you.
especially if you're around people that are unhealed on a regular basis that know you well. It makes it easier for them to make you question yourself.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of those little messages from the universe too, that I need to start purging my life again, that I'm surrounded by too many negative people. Not necessarily people that um wish me harm or are here to like do harm, just they're too negative, and that
Mm-hmm.
brings my energy lower, and then I miss out on blessings that are meant for me because I'm not aligned with the right vibration. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's got to stop because I'm not here for that. I'm here for healing, and if you're trying to drag me down, bitch, get lost. I don't care who you are. You got to go. That's that. I'm not here for that. I can't even imagine having negative energy towards other people that when they're doing successful things or trying to do successful things. I can't imagine that kind of the kind of negativity you have to have inside of you for that. But I have noticed that in a lot of people around me lately that I will say some positive shit and they will have a negative reason why it can't be fully positive or it's not positive or XYZ. And I'm just like, and
Yeah.
I've noticed it, but then to hear it from the
Yeah.
universe too, reinforce that, like, hey, like a lot of your issues right now are also because you're surrounded by people that are just, they have negative energy. They live in a negative space and you're not there anymore. You need to surround yourself with people that live in a positive energy, that even when life is fucking hard, they're like, okay, this is bullshit. I fucking hate this. I want out of this bullshit. But you know what? There is a there is a better time coming. Like, there's good times, there's bad times. They
Yeah.
don't, neither one stay forever.
Exactly. And like, see, I struggle with like I still think of myself usually as a very negative person because that's who I've been like my whole life. But everyone around me, even my mom, is like, you're more positive in your life than you've probably been in years and years. You're the one that tells people to smile, it's gonna be okay, let's breathe, like we're gonna rock through this. Like, and then on my bad days, like I recently posted something on our Facebook page and it said, growth is when you talk yourself off of ledges you would have gladly flung yourself off of at one point.
Yeah, I hearted it.
Yeah. And I'm at that point in my life where even in my bad days when I start to think negative, I can talk myself down 9 times out of 10, which no, I was my worst antagonist for a long time. I would make myself like get worse and worse and worse. And then be like, why does my life suck? Where now I can be like, well, if you keep telling yourself you have a shitty life and things aren't ever going to get better, you're going to continue to have a shitty life where things never get better.
And that's kind of what I'm seeing in reality. Like, I've heard that stuff for a lot of years, especially being of pagan orientation spiritually. Like, that is kind of drilled into you, but then there's always that little like voice in the back of the mind that's like, because of the trauma, that's like, do you really want to trust that? Are you dumb enough to trust that with
Yeah,
everything you know about life? Are you really that stupid at this point in your life, bitch? And
see,
it's really come to a point where I've had to like rewire how I think.
and it's literally rewiring your brain when you stop yourself mid negative thought and you're like, no, I refuse to think like this. This is how I'm going to think, and this is how it's going to be. It actually changes the makeup of your brain, and it becomes easier and easier and easier through time. Not that it's not still a struggle sometimes, it just gets easier to tell yourself the positive things.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with my mom about that the other day where I was like, it's scientifically proven that if
Mm-hmm.
you like do a specific action or say a specific affirmation every day for 21 days, that it will rewire a single neural pathway in your brain. And I was like, but I always do it for 30 days because I'm hard-headed, so I want to make sure it sticks.
Yeah. Well, I've told you the story about like how I made teeth pain not a thing in my life anymore. And
Yeah.
that was just so I've been literally telling myself it's not painful, it's annoying. It's not painful, it's annoying. And within less than 20 minutes, the pain was gone and I've never felt teeth pain the same way again, ever. And I really believe that actually helped me rechannel things and like put it in a different highlight of, because before the pain was overbearing and I couldn't handle it and I couldn't get past it. But after that, I was like, it's part of life and it's annoying. Let's go.
Well, it's kind of like the way I do with my cops can't see me. And people will be
Yeah.
like, but I've seen you get pulled over. And I'm like, and do you see me with a ticket with tickets? And they're like, no. I'm like, because even if I get pulled over, they don't give me a ticket. Like, even if they see my car or they supposedly see me, like, uh, has happened, usually it's pretty an extreme circumstance and they should be seeing me, but I still
Yeah, at
end
that
up,
point, you're just being like, the universe is like, I will help you, but I can't make you invisible.
yeah,
Come on.
get it together. Actually, I think it's more of like the universe reminding me, listen, don't take advantage. It's one thing to be doing 5 miles over the speed limit, uh, cruising down the street. It's something totally different to be just blatantly 20 miles over the speed limit, being like, fuck you. um,
Exactly.
so
She's just
in
reminding
those,
you of her place.
yeah, in those circumstances, I think it's more like, hey, listen, we got you, but also don't be a fucking asshole.
Right? Geez, my boss tells me that all the time. He's like, I got your back. I will help you with anything, but do not be an ass. The second you start being an ass to me or to the people in the kitchen, we're going to have issues. I was like, we're going to be fine because y'all are the only people I get along with here, actually, besides my residents. And they won't let me just hang out with the residents all day. So I'll get
I
along with you. I was done.
oh
Gotta love Zoom meetings, man. Gotta love Zoom meetings.
hey, actually, this has been pretty fantastic,
It is
and
going way better than I would have thought.
yeah,
Since I've never used
and
Zoom.
I like the video quality. Once I get into editing it, we'll see what the audio quality is like. But so far, I like the video quality. I also love the fact that that my background is blurred,
That
um,
is nice.
so I can sit wherever I want, which is where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Uh, but also because I really do want to do guest hosting. Like I want to have
Yeah.
guest people on. Uh, I have at least 3 people in mind that I want to have on. I'm sure you have probably at least as many in your mind of people you'd like to invite on.
Yeah.
So, um, being
And
able
hey,
to,
people watching, if there's any suggestions that you have of people you'd like us to maybe collab with, put them below. We want to
yeah,
know. Mhm. Mhm.
also not necessarily long term, but like maybe we will play with the idea of having like a monthly subscriber guest host.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
those conversations I can imagine would be interesting and fun altogether as well, because completely different perspectives. We don't know you, you don't really know
Mhm.
us, and let's see where it leads.
Right? Like, honestly, I've met some awesome people just starting up random conversations. Like, mm.
Yeah,
And
and
if you're a subscriber, you already know nothing's off limits. So,
yeah, yeah, that is the one thing that you take the risk if you take the risk to become a co or a guest host, a guest appearance. I guess I should call it guest appearance, not
hmm
guest host. But anyways, to join us for a conversation or for a part of a conversation, just understand that our conversations, we don't plan them. We may pick a topic,
yeah, something we might want to bring up. Mhm.
but we let the conversation flow where it goes naturally because we feel like that's the best combination of conversations to begin
Yeah,
with.
you get to see our personality more that way. And like we said in the beginning, like, these are our conversations anyway. Like, we are always having in-depth, like, deep discussions with each other. So we would hope that you would want to be a part of that if you want to be a guest host. Mhm.
Yeah. And as always, if we were to do a drawing like that and you were selected and you choose not to host, that would be fine. We'll just draw another name.
Right? Mm,
Or we'd have like some kind of thing to pick who would be on that wants to be. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
right. Right. Oh, it's almost, and it's getting warmer. Soon we're gonna be able to do like videos maybe outside, like stuff like that, because we both get pretty active during the summertime. Mm.
Yeah, we're probably gonna definitely have to have some weeks of pre-recorded stuff for camping season because
Oh yeah.
camping is a must for us.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
although that would be good content for the vlog while we're camping. That would be
Yeah, we'll
pretty
just
awesome.
record. We'll pre-record some stuff, and then we'll bring home some stuff and be like, "Look what we did."
Yeah. But no, overall, like, oh, that's what I was going to say next. I talked to my doctor this week after getting x-rays and blood work. Pretty sure I have not been sick. It is my fibro.
Yeah.
And after looking into the fact that the doctor that the rheumatologist that I've had since my diagnosis has only seen me day one of diagnosis.
That's
Um,
totally unacceptable. I'm sorry, but how can you say you care for your patients if you don't even see your patients?
Yeah, well, like I told her, I tried multiple times getting in touch with them. This isn't the first time I brought this to her attention. Chose to give the benefit of the doubt and give the provider a little bit more time, but it's been 2 years. And if I haven't seen you in 2 years, it's time to have a new doctor. Not to
Yeah,
mention,
you're basically not a patient now.
I really don't understand what all the fibro is, but apparently I have 18 out of 18 points, which are points on the body that they check for fibro once they've ruled everything else out. So I would think that it would be pretty significant, the fibro that I have. And I would love to know
Right?
what that means for me and my body and why my body is crashing like hell right now. Like today, I was supposed to be working since 8 o'clock this morning, but every time I tried to stand up, I literally got so dizzy I just collapsed onto the floor. So I didn't get out of bed until after 12,
Oh,
when my
honey.
body would finally let me stand long enough to go wash my face and stuff and start getting dressed. But yeah, it's been pretty significant how bad my health has been. And everybody just keeps telling me, and even the universe has sent me some of those messages, but I'm kind of getting annoyed because everybody's like, well, maybe the universe just wants you to sit down and relax. Okay, so who's paying my motherfucking bills? You
Okay, I
just
was gonna
tell
say,
me, is there
right?
like
We
a
discussed
grant
this.
for existing out there? Because if there is a grant for existing that will cover my bills for like a month and all this like compounded debt that I have right now, then I will sit the fuck down for a month and not do a thing. I will sit here and like a fucking monk if that's what it wants.
Right? Whatever it takes.
I'm just
But like
saying.
we said before, unfortunately, in the real world, you have to make it happen. There's nobody coming to save you. There's nothing like, and if you just panic and you don't do anything, then you lose everything. And that's the part I think a lot of people don't understand. It's not, oh no, I don't have like a meal for a day or I don't have gas money for a week. It's no, it's everything's gone.
Yep.
Like,
Everything.
and
Everything.
when you have kids, it's not an option. Mm. Panicking
And
is okay as long as you get over the panic.
And then to think of all the nonsense with my car, and then to find out that the engine is on its last leg and that I just need to drive it till it doesn't drive anymore while I figure out if they're going to cover it.
Yeah, that's crazy. You think they would have to warn somebody that that could happen when you buy a
Well,
car?
what fucking kills me is the lady was like, this car has no recalls on it. Look at, here's all the paperwork, whatever. So tell me why 2 months after I get the car, I find out it through my insurance that it has a recall on it that it's had since the year before I bought it.
It's because in Oregon they're allowed to lie to you in car dealerships. It's completely legal.
I hate Nissan so much. And I pretty much feel like they were like sucker from the minute I walked through the door because I was so in need of a car. I didn't listen to my gut like I normally would have and took my time. And
Yeah.
really, everything worked great. It felt great. I was like, yep, this is, and I should have known better because I never do stuff like that. I always take my time. I look up
Mm-hmm.
reviews. I look up all kinds of stuff. I take several weeks doing research, but I didn't have several weeks. I didn't have 2 days. I needed the car and I needed it now. And in the end, that's what fucked
Yep.
me because I trusted the paperwork and I trusted that what I felt when I drove it was accurate. And, I trusted the salesman after telling me about being fucked over by Lithia, that he wasn't going to put me through the same situation. But unfortunately, some people, I think, get their kicks off of that. I
No,
think
they do.
they see, well,
They
this
do.
happened to me. Let me fuck as many people over as I can so they can go through that shit too.
Yeah, my boss, he went through Nissan. He has a little Nissan Juke thing. That thing has caused him so many problems, and now the alternator's starting to go out for like the second or third time. Like he's had to replace the headlights like twice a year since he's gotten it. Like I'm like, fuck Nissan, man. I'm sorry, but they don't
Yeah,
build
no,
good cars and they have horrible customer service.
amen to that. And how many times I took it in while it was under warranty and told them stuff was going on and they told me no, it wasn't. And then only to take it somewhere else and find out it was. And then when they did repair stuff, it was part of it was broken again. Even the brand
Mm-hmm.
new parts, like weeks afterwards, take it into Les Schwab because it still didn't feel right
Yeah.
driving it. They're like, well, they did repair this, and this, but these parts, they're new, but they're still broken. And it's like, what were you people
Why?
even doing?
Yeah, why
And I
put
know
somebody
that
through that?
what it boils down to is that they looked at me and realized that I wasn't somebody that had money that could hire an attorney. And they're like, so she's not going to be able to sue us because if I did have money, I could sue the hell out of them because while Oregon doesn't have a lemon law, catastrophic engine failure is one of the few things that they can get you that you can get them on.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I luckily have never bought in a car off a lot, and I probably never will because every single person I know has had some horror story with the car lots around here.
Every one of them. There is not one car dealership, brand new car dealership in this valley that doesn't have the worst reviews.
Yeah. Well, even our used places, like they sell
They're the
people with
worst.
yeah. Like we have a place around here called World Famous Autos, and I
Oh
don't
my
mind
God.
calling them out at all. Like they sold a client my mom had when she was caregiving a car that didn't have brakes and they fucking knew about it and she got hit by a semi and had to have her leg amputated because of those motherfuckers. Mm-mm. Like I will go out of state if I ever have to go to a lot.
Yeah, next time I buy a new car, which probably not going to be real quick, but I will definitely be going back to California because I had a really good experience down there and we didn't even have the money to buy, but they didn't know that. We were just there because my brother and sister-in-law were looking at a new car at the time and we were with them and so they were like, why don't you guys look around too? And they treated us like we were there to buy a new car. They didn't question whether we wanted to fill out paperwork for the loan. They didn't pressure us. They let us test drive like 4 cars. Like it was and they offered us more too, but we were like, no, we're gonna head out because we're with them. And they're getting ready to leave and they were like, oh, okay, well, here's all the information if you want to. And we were like, by the way, what if we buy it here, but we're from Oregon? They're like, it's okay. We can have it shipped up there and the plates and stuff done through Oregon DMV. And I was like, seriously? They're like, yeah, it's not really a big deal. And we offer those services to people that buy from us. And I'm like,
Oh. Ooh.
never had that kind of treatment here at any of the dealers.
No, no. They are predatory around here, like, as far as I'm concerned.
They needed me to fill out financial information before they wanted me to test drive anything to see if I was approved for a loan, which I was, obviously, but
Yeah.
no, like that was not my experience out of state. Down in California, down in Sacramento area, they were amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had
And
some friends tell me Washington's pretty good too.
and funny enough, it was also Nissan.
Okay, so maybe they're not all assholes, maybe just the ones in Oregon.
Yeah, no, seriously. They were like they even asked us like what kinds of things we did with the car or that we were going to do with the car. And when we told him, he was like, well, let's go test because we were only going to test drive one. And he was like, well, let's go test drive this, this, and this because I think it might fit your needs better. That's how come we ended up. Yeah.
That's awesome. God, no, they wouldn't do that around here. They'd purposely sell you something that would break down around here.
Yep.
Because
Nope.
that means more money.
Nope, I'm okay. Listen, the next time I go to buy a car, it will be at a new car dealership and it will be um a brand new car. But also I will probably actually go back because like I said, I had a really good experience in Sacramento, but also because it's
Yeah.
a quick flight. It's just a few hours, flight down and flight back. So I could go down same
Yeah.
day and come back, or I could go down, spend the weekend, and drive my new car home.
Right?
So I don't know, but it's even if it's a drive back, that's only 6 hours, so that's not too long for me. Anything longer than that, and it's really hard for me to road trip these days.
Yeah.
That's another reason why getting out of this financial slump is so important this year and getting into a more balanced state of abundance,
Mm.
at least by the end of 2025, so that I can just catch a flight. Like Bear's got an appointment in Portland. Cool. I've got a hotel reserved. We're going to be up there this week. We'll catch a flight this day. We'll come back this day and I'll get to visit my friends up there too. Like,
Yeah, that
um,
would be nice.
but as it stands now, like it's really hard for my body and it's definitely hard on my car to drive to Portland and back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sacramento, it's a little bit longer of a drive down, like one way, but also I tend to, when I am financially able, when we would travel like that, I tend to stop in Reading anyway, so it's only 3 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes my body hurt, but it's not like gonna kill me. It's like I stop in 3 hours, I'll grab a
Yeah.
hotel, get a warm showers, take a
Yeah.
nice sleep, and then get up and finish my 3 hours and have a good time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really can't wait for the abundance to start happening because the level of stress that I'm at, I had to have my heart checked this week because I've been having chest pains pretty severely. And I'm like, I know it's probably just stress and that I'm anxious, but also stress is what caused my last heart attack. So while it doesn't feel like a heart attack, maybe we should check.
Yeah. Yes. Check. Make sure. Remember, I will resurrect your ass. There's no dying on me.
Well, that depends on whether stress kills me or not. I didn't have an option in that one last time either. In fact, I argued
Oh
with
no.
EMT. It's
Oh
not a
no.
heart attack.
Watch my non-believing ass tap into some hoodoo. You ain't moving on. How's that? You might die, but you ain't getting to move on. You'll be trapped in a pendant. And
I'm
I'll
gonna
keep
be
it too. Bear doesn't get it.
I'm gonna be your mirror mirror on the wall.
Yes, exactly. What's horrible is I won't tell Coda, but I guarantee, because that kid is so sensitive to stuff, he'll walk past it and be like, "Did you fucking trap my aunt?" It's not my fault. She died.
Yeah, no, there are kids. Watch him walk by and look at it and just go, "You're free."
Whatever. He's getting older. You can't do that for much longer.
The power doesn't go away just because you age.
This is true, and so far, he is very sensitive to it. But he doesn't realize half the time they're ghosts and shit. He's just like, you'll watch him, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Well, and with the autism and being sensitive, it's less likely to go away. It's more likely to hone it in. Like, what's the kid that was on TV and is now coming to Seven Feathers? Tyler Henry. Is it Tyler Henry? Yeah.
Something like that.
I swear that kid's autistic. Just watch the way his mannerisms are.
Yeah.
Nothing
It's
wrong with
very-
that.
Well, no, my son's autistic. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, I just realized that there's some people that would think that because we're speaking about it that there's a problem with it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just putting that out there.
Okay. You are right, and some people might think that. And fuck on, my kid's autistic. I took care of lots of autistic people. Like,
Well, me and my kid might be autistic. We still haven't been evaluated, but we're going in the near future because enough people
Yeah.
have said, we're referring you because we're pretty sure.
Yeah, and it's just a different way to process things, man.
I
That's
love
all
the
it
look on
is.
I love the look on my family's face when I say that. There's no way you're autistic. And I'm like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't take this wrong, but you very well could be. Like,
yeah,
I love
no,
you, and I've been around. You could be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But females mask in a different way than males do, and they present in a different way. So that's why a lot of people don't look at women, especially adult women, and be like, "Oh yeah, you could be autistic," because they
yeah,
don't
no.
do like the finger thing. They're like they stem differently too a lot of times, like. But it could happen, and there's nothing would change. You just be like, okay, that too.
Well, I just when I do research with the ADHD and the autism and the BPD and the bipolar, it's kind of like what the doctor said about my fibro. I kind of have the poster child effect. I'm like, so why am I just now finding out that this might be a thing when all that is?
Yeah. Well, it's like when I first got into mental health and started seeing my person and stuff, she's like, you dissociate a lot. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't do that. She's like, actually, do you realize you sat down and said nothing literally for a half an hour of our meeting last time while you stared fixatedly at the stained glass on my window that you don't like? I was like, no, I didn't. I told you I didn't like it. I looked at it for a minute and then we moved on. She's like, no, we didn't. Because I used to dissociate bad. Like, drive from here to Portland and only remember the first 2 hours of the drive. Like,
I do that a lot.
yeah, which it scared me. And then I realized a lot of people dissociate specifically while driving. And I'm like, that's terrifying. I don't want to know people do the same thing I do while driving. Please
I
no.
think oftentimes I drive better when I dissociate.
I don't know.
I just tend to miss my turn more often. Like I don't hear GPS the first time, but then the next time I'll catch it.
Yeah.
It's like, you
Yeah.
passed your turn, idiot. And I'm like, oh, idiot. Ah,
Mhm,
fuck.
mhm.
Next turn.
Yep. Yep. Like, I really do want to one day program my GPS to have my same exact attitude. Like, stupid motherfucker, I told you. I told you, now you're gonna get lost. That's your fault. Oh, now you want my help.
My GPS can never talk to me like that because I'll end up punching it.
See, if it had my voice and it was talking to me like that, I would find it funny. If it had anybody else's voice and it was talking to me like that, I probably wouldn't find it so funny.
Nope, I know my temper in traffic. You talk shit to me when I'm already fucking pissed off and hate every driver on the fucking planet. I'm fucking breaking you, bitch. You better talk nicely to me, talk sweet, and tell me that I didn't do anything wrong and you have a new route for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what my dad's GPS basically did for him. And his GPS talks sweet to him, and it has an Australian accent. He used
Yeah,
to call it his road girlfriend.
yeah. I could do with an Australian accent. I like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like,
British, Australian, it's all good.
Yeah. Actually, there's very few accents I don't really like. Like, I don't like Cockney British accents. That freaks me out real bad. Like, you can't touch me if you have that accent. I'm so sorry. I think that's about it, though. Irish, when it's real thick Irish, and it's not because it freaks me out, I just struggle to understand it. But I still like it.
I don't know if there is many that I don't care for. I really don't. Uh, I'm most particular, like I prefer mostly um country western, southern
Mhm.
draw. That just makes me melt into a
Oh yeah,
puddle.
yeah,
Um,
same. I think that's
Australian.
smoking. Mm.
Um, and like I said, like a UK British. Oh my God. Oh, and Scottish.
Just the way you said that was great. Mm.
I I would like curl up in a ball, crawl on my knees. Yes, sir. That accent
Yeah.
right there. That uh-huh.
See,
Mm,
that's me in Southern accents. If you have a Southern accent and if you're a man and you have a deep voice, or if you're a woman and you have like that Southern belle, real prim and proper, either one, I'm like, okay, whatever you say. Fucking,
uh-huh.
you can read the McDonald's menu to me. Like, I'll be happy. Whatever you want. Like, shit.
I agree with the male, not the female. I tend to associate that to um stuck up, snobby, need to have your
Yeah.
fucking mouth broken in a few different places.
Okay, but you know how I am with my women. I'm not
Yeah,
abusive. Just I know you know. I need to tell them that I am not abusive. Let me like just clarify.
you're
But
dominant.
yeah. So I don't mind if she has a prissy little attitude as long as she doesn't mind it being corrected.
Yeah. Well, my
I
time
know.
in the South with women in the South was not super pleasant with many of them. So
Yeah, I can't lie. There's not many of them I like, but you know what? I used to have this saying. I don't use it much anymore, but it is 90% of women look better with a gag ball in their mouth. And that was simply so I didn't have to hear their voice.
I prefer
A
a
lot
puppy
of them
bone gag, but okay.
that'd be great.
Sorry. I
Oh,
used to not have any interesting gags at all, and then the day that I saw the silicone dog bone puppy gag, I was like, I at some point in life, I have to own that and wear that.
yeah. Yeah, that's still something I can't do. It's one of the few things I can't do, but nobody's going to put a fucking gag on me. I will scream if I want to.
That's okay. So two things. One, I used to have that trigger. I don't anymore, thanks to therapy. But and it took an accident to figure out that I didn't have an issue with that anymore. But that's fine.
Right?
Uh,
It's resolved. That's what matters.
uh, but also, like the issues that I have with other people hearing my noises of pleasure outside of me and the person I'm with is it's very weird because I'm very much an exhibitionist, but I don't like people hearing the sounds. Like I feel like it's
Oh,
almost like
well,
you're
keep
taking
it.
advantage of my good time because most people get off on the sounds, not necessarily the visual. I'm
Yeah.
like,
See,
eh,
for me, like it's a safety thing for me. Like I'm always probably going to be just a tad paranoid, so I need to be able to tell you to stop. Like, yeah, it's great if you know all the hand signals and whatever, but I have to be able to say it to feel safe. And
I
I found
understand.
out the hard way that that was a very hard limit for me. Mm,
Well, I'm also, as you know, very particular. I haven't had a BDSM partner in a very, very, very long time because you have to build the trust bond. I'm
mm-hmm.
not meeting you today and getting tied up by you tomorrow. That's not happening. Or getting
No, that's
tied
how
up
bad things
today. That's
happen.
happening less.
Yeah, yeah. That I'm sorry. That's just how very bad, very dangerous things happen to people. Like, not getting after telling anybody that they shouldn't live their life the way they want to, but for me, I cannot do that because of personal experiences. Mm.
Same. And I do tell people don't do that. I mean, I know you're an adult, you're gonna do what you want, but like I am gonna tell somebody because like I said, I had a friend murdered. So I am gonna tell
Mhm.
people vet,
Yeah.
make your boundaries, have many, many conversations before you're ever naked with that person, like about what's gonna happen in
Hmm.
this scenario, what's gonna happen in that scenario, how are we gonna handle these things, what kind of things are you going to notice in my body, like doing things before you ever get tied up while you're dressed, like trying some things out without
Yeah.
the sexual intimacy, just trying different things out like paddles and things to see what level of intensity you can actually handle before you start things like
Exactly. Because I feel like so many people like they have an idea in their head, so they try to go to the extreme immediately and then they're like terrify themselves because well what they thought they could take isn't anywhere near what they can do or what they actually want.
well, and I've had doms that get
Fantasies
really
are
upset
one
with
thing.
me. Yeah. I've had doms
Yeah.
that get really upset with me. They're like, well, we've slept together for 3 months or 4 months, and I'm like, okay. And they're like, and you're still not really past the vanilla stage. And I'm like, we don't have any trust. I don't know you. Like, you're good in bed and that's cool. But like, we don't move past
Yeah.
vanilla with me unless there's trust because while I want the rest, and trust me, I'm fantasizing about us doing the rest on a lot of times while we're doing the other, but it's not going there until I can trust you.
Until I yeah, until I know I'm safe. Like and that should be the bare minimum, man.
Yeah. Well, that's like the firefighter made me feel safe mentally, but because I didn't know him, I wouldn't move on with
Yeah.
that either. I mean, and I'm sure that frustrated the hell out of him. But at the same time, it's like, dude, while while my gut says you're safe, everything else says you're not even putting in the time and effort that I need to feel like a person, let alone safe for you to do XYZ. And trust me, I wanted it,
Yeah.
but there's no way in hell. It's like, well, many people know that I do not have problems giving head, but
Yeah.
with him, like I ended up crying and was not, I like my gag reflex was at maximum and I couldn't get it to calm down no matter what I tried, no matter how many days. And one day I just ended up crying because, and I'm sure he thought, well, this bitch is all talk and no follow through. But the reality is that my body was responding to the way he was treating me. My body
Yeah.
was like, listen, we can't get into that. We just can't, because he doesn't feel like he's here, like he's present.
Yeah. And your body will do that a lot of the time. Like, and it's just your body's way of telling you, like, this isn't right, or at least not at this moment with what's going on.
In the end of things, I feel like as hard as that was going through all that, and falling in love with that asshole. Sorry, he's not an asshole. And that's just a little bit of leftover hurt from me going through some severe pain.
Well, I'm the
But
bestie, so I can say he's an asshole. I can say, a whole lot of shit because you are healing and that is your pain to heal through, and I am the bestie that gets to be mad on your behalf. So I'll
and
say
that's
he's an
fine.
asshole.
And that's fine. But he actually wasn't. He was just a nice
I
guy
know.
that just didn't have the ability to commit to the level of relationship that I needed from him, and that's fine. I would say that I wish he had been a little bit more straightforward when I was asking straightforward questions and just said, look, I am not prepared for this kind of relationship. If he'd have said
Yeah.
that long before he did, then it would have been what he wanted, which would have been just, while I'm in state, I'm good at what I do. You enjoy it, I enjoy it. That's how it's going to be until I leave state. And then that would have been that. Because
Yeah.
honestly, when I started the relationship, that was all I wanted. But then because of how he made me feel, and the feelings that then developed about him, like, then I was in a different place emotionally. And now I'm in a different
Yeah.
place entirely, where I'm
I get that.
literally looking for my lifelong partner.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is important to have like that honest communication. And one of my favorite sayings is everybody thinks that the key is communication, but the key is not communication. The key is comprehension. Mm, mm.
It is definitely comprehension, not communication.
It is
Sorry.
because you can talk to somebody till you're blue in the face, but if they don't understand what you're saying, then all that communication was worth nothing.
Right.
Well, folks, I think that is going to be a good place to end this little bit of a different episode.
Yeah.
Hope you
We'll
enjoyed
see.
it.
We'll see when I get through editing what it looks like.
Let us know what you think down below about this little bit of a different way to do a show.
Talk to y'all later.
Mind your boundaries.